Catherine de' Medici was practically handed a subscription to chaos from birth. Just a month old when her parents died, she was left to the whims of fate in a world where the Medici name was both a blessing and a curse. As a member of the rich and powerful Medici family, her life was anything but ordinary. Orphaned so young, she ping-ponged between relatives. But in 1523, her uncle, Pope Clement II, scooped her up and whisked her away to a fancy palace in Florence. They called her the Little Duchess, and it looked like her luck was finally turning, until it didn't. Just when she got comfy, Florence's power scene exploded in 1527. Charles V's troops sacked Rome, leading to her uncle's ousting and plunging her life into uncertainty once more. Amidst this turmoil, Catherine found herself in a convent. Ironically, life in a nunnery offered a peaceful break from noble drama, and she actually liked it. But as a Medici, nowhere was truly safe. Pope Clement, never one to surrender, struck a desperate deal with Charles V, the already reigning Holy Roman Emperor, for military backing. This pact temporarily stabilized Florence, but also placed Catherine in a precarious position, with the mob debating whether to harm her or use her as a pawn in their schemes against the Medici. Once the dust settled, Pope Clement whisked her back to Rome, safe at last but ever the pawn in political games. Catherine might not have been a head-turner, but she had a royal trump card: money. Sensing an opportunity to extend France's influence into Italy, King Francis I jumped at the chance to stretch France's influence into the Italian regions, snagging a hefty dowry from Pope Clement and matching her with his second son, Henry. Both were 14 years of age when they married. Despite the grandeur of the marriage, Henry was too busy spending time with his older, beloved mistress, Diane de Poitiers. And Catherine? She wowed the French court with her sharp tongue and quick wits. Just as Catherine was settling into French life, Pope Clement met his end, and the hefty dowry he promised? It vanished into thin air with his successor's approval. But then, fate played a wild card. Henry's brother suffered a fatal accident during a sporting event, and suddenly, Henry and Catherine were next in line for the throne. Rumors swirled that Catherine had a hand in the poisoning, though the alleged perpetrator, Catherine's companion, Sebastiano de Montecuccoli, confessed and took his secrets to the grave. After a decade without heirs, and with Henry's mistress bearing him a daughter, proving he wasn't infertile, all eyes turned to Catherine. But then, a clever physician suggested some creative adjustments to their bedroom tactics. The result? 10 kids later, Catherine was back in business. Tragically, Henry's life was cut short by a freak jousting accident. His eldest son, Francis II, took the throne, but the ambitious guy's family held significant power and controlled the court. His reign lasted only a year due to his timely death. When the throne passed to her 10-year-old son, Charles IX, Catherine secured a deal to be named regent, and for the first time, wielded real political power in France. As Queen Regent, Catherine found herself in the middle of brutal religious warfare. It all kicked off with the massacre of Vassy and escalated to the infamous St. Bartholomew's Day massacre, with Charles IX shouting, "Kill them all." A line likely fed by Mommy Dearest, the tension between Catholics and Protestants reached a catastrophic peak. When King Charles fell ill, his last words were reportedly, "Oh my mother," signaling a dramatic end to his reign and Catherine's waning influence. She then called back her favorite son, Henry, who had ditched his royal duties to be the King of Poland, because who would have guessed Charles would drop so suddenly? Meanwhile, the youngest, Francis, often found himself at the center of plots and rebellions, turning family game night into a political rebellion, earning him a marathon lecture from Mommy Dearest. This family drama forced Catherine to play nice with the Huguenots. Not to be outdone in the drama department, her daughter Margaret, known for her scandalous life, repeatedly ditched her husband, Henry of Navarre, to shack up with her lovers, driving Catherine up the wall, and kept pushing until she finally snapped. When Margaret begged her mother for money, Catherine, totally disgusted, sent just enough to keep her fed and nothing more. Margaret's relentless defiance peaked with an affair with a man named D'Aubiac, pushing Catherine to the edge. In a chilling move, Catherine ordered D'Aubiac's execution, meant to be a public humiliation for Margaret, though rumors of his dramatic execution in front of Margaret remain unconfirmed. Catherine's final days were overshadowed by her son Henry's bold move to wipe out the entire Guise family, even proudly delivering the news himself, a decision against her wishes that reportedly hastened her end. Catherine de' Medici passed away shortly after, her life unfolding like an episode of Breaking Bad. Whether she was a great ruler is up for debate. Her role as a mother, often criticized, must be viewed through the lens of her chaotic childhood, meteoric rise to power, and the era's savage political landscape.